I absolutely love Bills Mafia. Like, how could you not? Even as a Colts fan, I absolutely love Bills Mafia. When we were trash last year, I came on here and I asked Bills Mafia, could I please join? Could I please join? I love your quarterback. I love your team. There's so many players on your team. This is currently my second favorite team in the NFL. Okay, again, because I love the quarterback. Josh Allen is so much fun to watch. Stephon Diggs is one of my favorite players in the NFL. So it's hard not to root for the Bills. And last year, this team finished 13-3. When you talk about the 2023 season, you wonder, did they get better in this offseason? And in terms of talent, the Bills got better. But what we're looking at going into this season is whether or not Josh Allen can be better about turnovers in bad moments, right? Red zone turnovers. You can't have it. Right. And then you got to look at how does the defense change with Sean McDermott calling plays and being head coach. And honestly, from what I'm seeing in the preseason, that Bills defense might be even better with McDermott instead of Leslie Frazier. If he's going to be an attack style defense, the way he's been attacking, the kinds of blitzes and the way the Bills defense is disguising things and the movement on that defense, what Sean McDermott is doing with his defense is like football porn for people that love defensive football. So just know I think the Bills defense is going to be ridiculous this year, to be honest with you. Okay, but looking at the offense, they lost Devin Singletary, but they still have James Cook and they signed Damian Harris. We're able to pluck him from the division rival Patriots. And they got Latavius Murray, who's a veteran in the league. You can depend on him to do what he needs to do. He knows his role. You're going to see him get, short yardage touches. You're going to see him get goal line touches. He's going to take some touchdowns away from James Cook or Damian Harris. And fantasy managers aren't going to like that. But the Bills are going to use the run game for sure to help their quarterback out. Okay, they have Nyheim Hines, but he's out for the season after being hit by a jet ski while being stationary on a jet ski. Okay, scary situation. His financial situation this year is a mess now, and he is out again for the season. Okay, they also get Stephon Diggs. He's happy enough with his situation to have signed a new deal. Okay, for everything the media wants to tell you. Okay, writing all these different stories to get attention. Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, seemingly still best friends, seemingly still love each other. And Stephon Diggs probably had enough input, and Ken Dorsey let him get enough input that he was like, yeah, let me stay here. Let me resign here. I'm going to be here long term. All right. And then Isaiah McKenzie went to the Colts in free agency, but they still have Gabe Davis, and they like Khalil Shakir. He's made plays. We're going to see what he can do in a bigger role this season with Isaiah McKenzie not there anymore. Okay, they went and signed Trent Sherfield as a depth piece, and they drafted Dalton Kincaid, who's listed as a tight end, but we're going to see him lined up off the line of scrimmage while Dawson Knox is playing the traditional tight end role. Okay, Kincaid can play any position from tight end to outside wide receiver. It doesn't matter. So he's going to be very versatile if you play fantasy football. Like I do, he's somebody that is definitely on the radar, especially with as late as he's being drafted. I just think he's gifted physically. He can do a lot. And when people have physical gifts and, the more you do, the more you get on the field. Dalton Kincaid is going to be a problem for people, in my opinion. And he's going to be a problem off the rip. Okay. And then you look at offensive line. They were able to sign Connor McGovern. Okay. I think that's a huge signing for them. That left guard spot was one of the biggest holes coming into free agency in the draft. They were able to fill that with one of the best left guards in the league. And then they went out and drafted Osiris Terrence. And I'll tell you, drafting this dude will prove to be a genius second round pick by Brandon Beane. Like, if you look at Osiris Torrance, like, he is just a different type of human being than the rest of us. Like, he just is. Turn on the tape. Like, he was built for the NFL. Okay. And he's currently number 2 at the right guard position on the depth chart. I expect he's going to be on that starting lineup sooner rather than later. Like, he's a freak human being. And this offensive line is going to be really good. They're going to be able to protect the quarterback. They're going to be able to run the ball this year. Like, there's definitely a chance for the Bills to be, competing for that number 1 seed like a lot of people expect. But there are also a lot of people see all the turnovers that happen and are kind of downgrading the Bills, especially with as good as the AFC is. Okay, and I already mentioned defense. I think the defense is going to be really good this year. The only weak spot here, the only thing that concerns me is going to be the linebacker depth on this team. Okay, you have talent and depth on the defensive line and in the secondary. But after losing Tremaine Edmonds this offseason and replacing him with Leonard Floyd, linebacker room got worse than it was before. All right. If they didn't have Matt Milano on this team, they might have one of the worst linebacker rooms in the NFL. And when you're looking at how they're putting this team together, that's one position that the Bills clearly aren't, worried about investing a ton of money into. I don't want to sit here and say that they're terrible. Matt Milano is great. People don't talk about him enough. Terrell Dodson is just inconsistent. There are inconsistencies there. There are things he needs to get better with. We'll see if he can be better coming into this year. And then Leonard Floyd, he's fine, right? But like he's not Tremaine Edmonds, right? But again, with Sean McDermott's defense, with what I've seen just in the preseason, like I'm thinking that the Bills defense is going to be really good. Okay, then you start going through looking at the Bills schedule and seeing what are they going to do this year. I have them playing 12 teams with a winning record. I have them playing 11 teams that are going to make the playoffs, and their strength of schedule is a .543, which is one of the highest in the NFL this year. Okay, so let's start going through the schedule, right? You have the Bills starting the year on Monday Night Football with the Jets. They're playing this game in New Jersey, and I have the Jets winning this game in week 1. Okay, so you take your 0-1 going into week 2 against the Raiders, week 3 against Washington. I don't think either of those teams can keep up with the Bills, so the Bills come out of week 3 2-1. Week 4, a game against the Dolphins. This is a game that I very much want to watch. I think this is going to be a very entertaining game. And at the end of the day, I picked the Bills to win this week 4 game. And then week 5, another really good game. Going against the Jaguars, this one in England. Okay, this is kind of the Jaguars' home turf. And this is a game that I also have the Bills winning. Okay, then they come back to U.S. soil, week 6 against the Giants. I have the Bills winning. Week 7 against the Patriots, the Bills win. Week 8 against the Bucs, the Bills win. That is their Thursday night game this year. Okay, so they start the season 0-1, but then they rattle off 7 straight wins going into the game with the Bengals in week 9. They're 7-1. And this is a game, it could be one of the best games of the year, but also there's going to be a lot of storylines in this game because this is the game that got canceled last year because of the DeMar Hamlin situation. So there are going to be a lot of eyes on this game, but this game is being played in Cincinnati, and that was honestly the deciding factor for me was who's playing this game at home, who gets that advantage. I went ahead and picked Cincinnati to win that game. And then next week, they have another Monday night game. This time against Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, and Denver Broncos. And this one's in Buffalo. But in this one, the Broncos are coming off a bye week, having some extra time to prepare for Josh Allen and the Bills. And I think it's going to be a hard-fought game the week before when the Bills have to play the Bengals. So go ahead and give me the Broncos to win that Monday night game. And the Bills, unfortunately, lose both of their Monday night football games in 2023. Okay, so going into week 11, against the Jets. Bills are 7-3. I have them winning this game. They win their home game against the Jets and go to 8-3. But then they get the Eagles the next week. And the Eagles are a team that might be the most stacked roster in the NFL this year. Real good chance of that being a complete fact. And I like Nick Sirianni as a coach. So go ahead and give me the Eagles to win that game. And going into the week 13 bye, you now have the Bills sitting at 8-4. Then things get real important. Okay, they're fighting for playoff spots. The AFC's crazy. So weeks 14 to 18, they get the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. Okay, listening to those teams, all but one of those are probably a playoff team in 2023. Okay, so the Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions. I have the Chiefs winning that game in Kansas City. Then the Cowboys go to Buffalo. There's no way. The Cowboys being in Texas and playing indoors, you're not going to Buffalo this late in the season and winning. So the Bills beat the Cowboys. Then you have the Bills going cross country to LA to play the Chargers on a Saturday. I have the Chargers winning that game. In week 17, the Bills are at home against the Patriots, and the Bills win that game, but then the Bills go to Miami for the final week of the season. And unfortunately, I do have the Bills losing their last game of the season. And overall, they end up 5-7 against winning teams. They end up 5-6 against playoff teams. And for me, they end up as the 9 seed in the AFC. Which again, it's hard to say, man. They're going to be Bills fans not happy about that, and I get it. Okay, but the AFC is crazy, man. The AFC is so loaded with talent, so many good quarterbacks in the AFC. Now, like of the teams I have making the playoffs, listen to the quarterbacks, okay? Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa. There are so many good quarterbacks. Like it's just hard to see a world where the Bills are able to make the playoffs when Josh Allen was making the mistakes he was making last year. Like that's just what we've seen last, right? So that's what we have to go off of. I need to see Josh Allen be better and not turn the ball over in the red zone so much. And then I'll be back on the bandwagon of, yeah, this is a team that really is competing for a Super Bowl. Okay. Because the guys at the top, Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, those guys aren't making those mistakes, right? Like, yeah, every now and then that's going to happen. But you can't make mistakes in bad moments. That's what we saw from Josh Allen, and that's the most important position on the team. Like the team goes as the quarterback goes. And if the quarterback is throwing games away, I have to take that into account. So this is one where I hope it changes. Trust me, I would be just fine with the Bills having the number 1 seed, right? I'm realistic about my team. I know the expectations for my team, and I know we're probably not making the playoffs. So I hope the Bills can not only make it to the Super Bowl, but win a Super Bowl. How freaking sweet would it be if the Bills won a Super Bowl? Finally, man, right? They deserve it. The fan base deserves it more than anything, more than any fan base out there. I mean, you might throw the Lions into there, but the Bills deserve to win the Super Bowl. You guys have the team, but it just needs to be put together, right? So again, I have them finishing 10-7. They're the number 9 seed in the AFC for me. And I'd love to know what you think the Bills record is going to be. You let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe with notifications on as we continue to pump out more division debates as we lead into the season. And before the season starts, we will have a final episode where we talk about the playoffs and how do I think the playoffs are going to go and who do I think wins the Super Bowl. So make sure you stick around for that one. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other. I'll see you for the next video.